Hey guys, welcome back to week 30 of cleaning season. It has been a great journey. Maybe for yourself, I know for me it has, especially these recent weeks of just everything that's going on in my life, with career wise, with school as well. And my favorite drink made a guest appearance. Here you have root beer. And as I'm looking at this now, and for the analogy I'm about to use, it's perfect for myself, and just reflection. And so what we see here is the bottle of the root beer, right? You know, nothing different. And if you picture yourself as it, like you're this body of root beer, right? You have all your ideals on the outside, what you want to do, the career that you believe that you should have, how you want your family to look, right? And just the way you want your life to be shaped, whether society accepts it or not. And the limitations that you place on yourself, the fears, the question of like, God, why isn't this happening to me? Like, I see you blessing these other people, but why isn't it happening to me? And at times we allow the different things from our day, from the world, to kind of take over our image, right? In this verse, what I want to share is from Romans 12:2. It says, "Let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think," and that's very that's a huge part of counseling. It's like changing the way a person thinks. And I see a lot of Christian values within counseling, and how you kind of like, you don't need to uh, um, adhere to all the ways the world does something, right? In career, you can change it to what you believe in. So I'll read that again. Let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. When you change the way you think, it changes the way you act upon different things. And I know for myself that has been the case, especially with the church I applied to, and I didn't get the job, right? And in that, I I had the decision to make. Where I think negatively of myself is, oh, like I had this, right? Like what could have been wrong? Like where was I lacking, or was I gonna be negative of the church? It's like, oh man, you guys should have told me this months ago. But for me, I decided to be positive. It's like I decided to view them in the way of like they're my brothers and sisters, and they're making the best decision they can make while they're praying, and while they're searching somebody to be the best fit for their context, for the ministerial context. And what I took away from that is that I can bring what I'm learning now into the community that I'm living in, right? And something that my counselor actually, I mean, my teacher, who is a counselor, one of my papers is this. I was talking about the church and everything about what was going on, and she said, "So back to the church. Are you going to take the risk and live your purpose? What is stopping you?" And that's a question that in counseling, not exactly that question, but it's a lot of like probing. It's like, so if you could change something differently, what would you do? If this was your life, what would you do differently? And for me, seeing that, it was like it made me pause, because and it made me look back of like what I'm doing right now and what I can be doing, and how now I can't stop because somebody else noticed, and they know where I am in my story. And another verse before we get back to the bottle, that I wanted to share is this, and it can help put some kind of perspective on what we're about to do. It says, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love Him." So when you're infatuated, when you're in love with God, when you're placing, when you allow Jesus to come into your heart, like God is always preparing a room for you, even when you're not even secret looking for Him, even when you're not even, I guess, like when you're not even saved. God is like, hey, I'm gonna place somebody in your life to lead you back to me, to lead you back to this true agape love, redemptive love. And just hearing that, it's like God is always fighting for us, advocating for us. And with that being said, at times we, from like everything I said earlier, we place a cap on God. It's like, hey God, I know you can do this, but like no, like we place a cap on God, on what He can do. We try to limit God, and when we do that, the blessings, like this is I'll say this is God. This is all the blessings that He has for us that we can attain. Like the blessings are in there. They're waiting for us. They're waiting for us to come to God. Like not just reading His scripture, not just worshiping, but making our life a life of worship. Making our life that way that it's a mirror image on what we are practicing. So when people see us, they don't say like, "Oh, John 3:16 says this," or "This verse says this." Like, no, they're seeing God through us, because they see the way we respond to different things, the way we carry ourselves in different situations. So if, say, like if a train stops you, like how would you react, knowing that somebody is watching you, waiting for your food? What would you say? Will you clown the workers, or would you just wait there and be present, like, hey, I understand that you're overwhelmed? Like, how would you do that? And with counseling, again, I'm in it, so we place a lot of blame on different things, but we don't point inwardly. And it's easy to do that. It's very easy to do that, and it's easy to talk to people who won't really challenge us in those areas. That's why it's important to have friends that they'll hold you accountable. Like, no, like you can't just throw it out. Like, you gotta see, like, what am I contributing to these issues? And God, He will pull, like, from the inside, and that's one reason that we are seldom allowing God to move in our lives, because we know that when He takes a hold of what we're doing, and He's gonna manifest it 10 times, like 20 times, like more than what we could do. I know for myself, I try to hold back, because it's like, I know it's like, okay, the next thing is gonna be higher, and it's gonna be great for me, but it's like, am I ready for it? And it's like, I want to ask God, like, hey, slow down. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, God, like, I want you to speed up to your speed, but it's like, I'm not ready for it. Especially when God overflows in your life. And with pop, the carbonation, what happens, when you shake it up? If I shake this up right now, what's gonna happen? And everybody should have the same answer. It's gonna get a little messy, but it's alright. So it's alright, you'll shake up. You see that? Yeah, shake it up a little bit more. And then, so what happens is this. We open it. Ooh, we hear that, then we stop it, right? So it's like, hey, God, you can work in this area in my life. But it's like, I still want control of this. I still want to do this. Like, hey, I still want to hang with my friends. I still want to, like, be in this one job where I know it's not where you want me to be. And, like, I want to, like, have multiple jobs, because the gym job that you gave to me is not really cutting it. You know what I'm saying? It's not really cutting it. So when we do that, we're limiting God. It's like God is like, okay, like you're not gonna really receive everything I'm giving to you until you cut these things out. Until you, like like I know in the Bible it was talking about how Jesus was telling them, leave everything and follow me. Our context might be different, but it's still the same. It's like what you have, your backup plans and everything. Leave all that and follow the plan that I have for you, the sustainable plan that I have for you, where you won't have to work all these hours. You won't have to make like, oh, like 70K a year and be miserable. You can make that amount, glorify the kingdom, and have peace, and freedom. And so when that happens, when you allow him to move more, it just keeps on open. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing. And then you just keep on opening. Ooh, you just, oh yeah. And then you just, let me shake it up a little bit more, cause that look, hey, God, ooh, my goodness, you see that? You see that? I see it. I hope you see it too. Then it shoots out. I don't know if you can see that. Boom, point that right there, cameraman. Boom, myself. Yeah, you see that? Get this. Yeah. Then it's like, if I would have opened it faster, it would have dripped out a lot more. But it's like access. So like the blessing is coming up. And then if you keep on pushing it, it keeps on coming and it keeps on coming. And what do you do when you receive this blessing? So this is what happens. More people come along. It's like, oh man, I want a part of that. I want a part of this. I see this person is acting different, right? It's like they're moving differently. And it's like you start to pour that blessing into somebody else. And it's like, how much more refreshing will this drink, this drink full of blessing be when somebody's at the table with you, when somebody understands your story, when somebody wants to be like you because you're living like Christ. It's not like they want, oh, I want the cars, I want all these things. Like, no, like they want the peace that's associated with your life. They want the joys that are associated with your life because you are associated with God. You are associated with Christ. And so a lot of that, it's like it's gonna be pointed back on you. And it's another verse in the Bible that says like God, that teachers are judged more harshly. So you're a teacher now. Like you don't have to just be in the school. You understand now. You have the manuscript. You have the information. So you can't act ignorant. You can't. Like I can't act ignorant. Like whatever I say to youth, and they take that, it's like it's gonna come back on me. And I told them the same thing. Like when they go to their friends, when whatever influence they make, good or bad, like depending on who is around them, it goes back on them. Like the ball's in their court. It's like whatever they tell them, whatever they're leading them to, good or bad, is going back on them. So, grab your glass, root beer, your favorite drink. Do your cheers, do your toast. Hey, root beer's the way to go in water. And I'll see you next week. Same time, same place, 7 o'clock. Remember, don't cap. Like, it's no cap on God's grace. Like, let Him overflow in your life so you'll be able to pour back into your communities, into your family, into your, your friends, whoever comes, your colleagues. So have a great day. Toast it up. God bless.